studies have shown that the number one fear that people have is public speaking. And the number two fear is death. Does that sound right? That means that if you were to go to a funeral, you'd rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. That's a quote from Jerry Seinfeld. Today, I'm going to share some tools and tips that are going to make it a lot easier for you to feel more comfortable at public speaking and giving your speech. And I'm going to go through 3 points. One is how to select your topic. That can make a big difference in how easy it is to give your speech. Number 2, how to organize your speech so that it's easy to remember. And number 3, how to deliver your speech so that you don't have to worry about forgetting and that your audience won't forget either. So let's look at number 1, selecting your topic. There are basically 2 ways in which you can select your topic. One is from personal experience. That's probably the easiest to remember because after all, you lived it, so you should be able to remember it much easier. And you can pull from anecdotes, life challenges, memorable people in your life that made a difference for you. You could talk about school, your passion, your hobbies. There's just so many topics that you can choose from. Number 2 is external resources. So external resources could be things like books or magazines or documentaries. Something that has impacted you personally makes it more meaningful because then you talk with excitement and interest. Also, other kinds of external topics could be, the subject that you're interested in. But if you can put a personal point of view on it, then it will become more interesting. Now, the external topic tends to be less intimate and maybe less self-exposing, but it sometimes is harder to remember. Let's look at how to organize your speech so that it's easier to remember. Basically, you want to remember 3 things. The opening, in which you want to grab people's attention so that they are going to know that they're going to be interested in your speech and they'll hang in there. So ways to open the speech might be a quote like I used, or it could be a story, or it could be a statistic, or it could be a question that invites reaction from your audience. Number 2, the middle. Before you get to the middle, you want to tell your audience what they're going to expect in this speech. So for example, I had already told you what you could expect in the speech. Organize, that is opening, organize, and deliver. So now we're talking about delivery, and the middle or the sandwich, inside of the sandwich part is 3 points. People easily remember 3 points. So you want to have 3 points that you make. And it could be, if it's a story, it could be a chronology, or if it's an intellectual topic, 3 points that you want people to remember. And they will remember the 3 points. More than that, and they're going to forget. And then finally and last, you want to do a closing, which is usually a summary of your 3 points. And it could also include a call to action to invite people to take the next step. And then finally, delivery. The first important thing about delivery is to make it easier for you to remember. In order to do this, you want to outline your speech. You don't want to write it all out because then you're going to try and memorize it. And if you miss one sentence, it'll totally throw you off. Whereas if you have an outline, you can fill it in and the speech is more natural. In addition, you want to block your speech. Remember I talked about in the organization 3 points. Well, if you block your 3 points, point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, you actually start to remember your speech based on what location you're in. Oh, so right now I'm in the last point, which is how to deliver your speech. So it's easier for me to remember. And then I could actually do 3 little positions right here in the 3 points that I'm going to make about delivery. So 1 is blocking, 1 is outline, 2 is blocking, and 3 is practice. Practice, practice, practice. You want to practice your speech so that you know if you're going to fit it into the time. It takes a while till you get an automatic sense of how long your speech is. And you might find that when you practice it, that the speech is way longer than you think, and then you actually have to cut it back. Practice also helps you to get familiar with what your topic is. And as you give more and more speeches, you'll find that you need to do less practice. In fact, I actually had problems with practicing too much because my speeches started to get stilted. So when you do it as an outline and you don't practice too much and you allow a certain amount of flow, it has a lot more fluidity and friendliness. So now we go to the closing of my speech. So you open in the middle and you close in the middle. And the closing is a summary of the points you made. So the points I made are that you need to think about 3 things in giving a speech. 1 is, what is your topic? 2 is, what is the organization of your speech? And 3 is, how to deliver your speech so that you can remember it and you can feel confident. And my call to action is, get out there and start giving your speech. It doesn't matter if you mess up, that's how you learn. In fact, you learn more from your mistakes than from when you get it right. That's it. Thank you.